Okay, good day everyone. I am Jerome Felecio, the presenter of this group, assigned topic about C++ language of programming. So, the overview of C++. What is C++? C++ is a cross-platform language that can be used to create high-performance applications. C++ was developed by Bjarne Stroustrup in 1979 at Bell Labs as an extension to the C language. So before the C++ was developed, ang C language mo una na invent na before sunod ang C++. So C++ gives programmer a high level of control over system resources and memory. Is a statically typed, compiled, general-purpose, case-sensitive, free-form programming language that supports procedural, object-oriented, and generic programming. So, why we use C++? So, nga nung magamit mo taog C++? So, C++ is the world's most famous popular programming languages. So, di day ag-uban na famous na programming languages like Java, JavaScript, PHP. So, mo-exist day pod ang C++. C++ can be found in today's operating system, graphical user interfaces, and embedded systems. So, since ag C++ maka-create naman siya og GUI, so bali branch na siya sa object-oriented programming na nana siya classes, polymorphism, then inherit nana. C++ is an object-oriented programming language which gives a clear structure to programs and allows code to be reused, lowering development cost. Is portable and can be used to develop applications that can be adapted to multiple platforms. So, C++ is fun and easy to learn. As C++ is close to Java, C#, so it makes easy for programming to switch to C++ or vice versa. So, a brief history about C++. C++ was developed in 1979 during the creation of PhD thesis. Bjarne Stroustrup worked with language called Simula. So, Simula is a kind of programming languages pod siya. Simula is a programming languages basically useful for simulation work. Stroustrup started working on the C language and added more extra OOP features to the classic C. So, bali siguro partnership siguro ng C and C++. So, ang kalahian naman sa C++ is object-oriented siya, sa C is dili. So, ang C++ is nag-add na si Stroustrup o kanang mga features like naa na siya classes, naa na siya polymorphism, basta kay branch sa OOP. His language includes some add-on features such as classes, basic inheritance, default function arguments, and polymorphism. It does define what the class name means. That is, what an objective of the class will consist of and what operation can be performed in such an object. Inherit allows us to define a class in terms of another class, which make easier to create and maintain an application. The word polymorphism means having many forms. Typically, polymorphism occurs when there is a hierarchy of classes and they are related by inheritance. So, C++ polymorphism means that a call to a member function that will cause a different function to be executed depending on the type of object that evokes the function. Stroke states that the purpose of C++ is to make writing good program easier and more pleasant for the individual programmer. In 1983, the name of the language changed from C with classes to C++. So, ni bali ang C na change na into C++ na na-develop ni Jerome in 1983. The operator in C language is an operator incrementing a variable. So mo man sila katong mag-increment kag variable nga katong kuan katong plus nani sila sa loop, which gives some insight into how Stroop regarded the language. The first commercial release of C++ language was in October 1985. So mo na first release sa C++ nga language. I don't know what is an exact date of October, but it releases on October 1985. In 1989, C++ language again updated into protected and static members. And the C++ references manually was released same year of Turbo C++ was released as a commercial product. Turbo C++ added on the plethora of additional libraries. So, mo na ang mga version sa C++ language. There are several version of C++ na murag ang familiar dan is Visual C++ ra o Turbo C++. Okay, let's proceed to the advantages and disadvantages of C++ programming. The advantages is we have a portability, object-oriented, multi-paradigm, low-level manipulation, memory management, large community support, compatibility with C, and scalability. So, the disadvantages also use of pointers, security issues, absence of garbage collector, and absence of built-in threads. C++ is undoubtedly one of the oldest and most efficient programming languages that still continues to dominate and dream of programming. Every beginner is curious to know the advantages and disadvantages of C++, on the basis of which they can start their programming journey. First is the portability. C++ offers the feature of portability or platform independence, which allow the user to run the same program on different operating systems or interfaces at ease. So, this picture of advantages of C++ is very convincing to the programmers. Next is the object-oriented. One of the biggest advantages of C++ is a picture of object-oriented programming, which includes concepts like classes, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, and encapsulation that allow code reusability and makes a program even more reliable. So, object-oriented, it allows na allow na ang C++ paggamit sa object-oriented na programming. So, object-oriented, it helps to deal with a real world problem. So pwede ka mag-apply ana og real world nga problem na to solve to propose a problem, then to solve a solution. Since si language is lack of this kanang sana picture man, it was created or proving to be great significance. So C++ combining features by C language. So ang naka-advantage naman ni C++ is na siya object oriented compared to C nga di siya kagamit og object oriented. And multi-paradigm is a multi-paradigm programming language. A term paradigm refers to the style of programming, includes logic, structure, and procedure of program. So we have a three paradigm of C++ programming, which is the generic programming, imperative, and the object-oriented programming. That was the three paradigm of C++ programming. So the generic programming refers to the use of a single idea to serve several purposes. So single idea ra siya. So the imperative programming refers to the use of statement that change a program state. So ang multi-paradigm maka-change ta og statement sorry. So then the OOP is mao to katong naa na sa kani classes, inheritance, and polymorphism. Low level manipulations. Since C++ is closely associated with C, which is a programming language closely related to the machine language, C++ allows low level manipulation of data at certain level. Memory management. C++ gives the programmer the provision of total control over memory management. So C++ is the top 6 most used in the community. Top 6 most used and follow to the programmers. So it can manage with responsibility to user or to manage the memory allocation. So nakadepende na sa user kung unsay isang button o kanang mo unsay isang kuanon sa kanang memory, pila isang allocate anak ni siya. So mo na responsibility to the user to manage the memory allocation. So large community support. Has a large community that supports by providing online source courses and lectures, both paid and unpaid. So C++ lagi is the top 6 of most used and follow. So dako man og support ang C++ man kasagaran sa programmer usable siya, then nadaghan pud siya mga kuan na compatibility with C. So C++ is pretty much compatible with C. So very kanang yes jud possible jud nga compatible jud silang duha kay C++ is validity with C. So depende po na sa compiler kay ang C++ pwede ta mo gamit og C programming language, which is ato orang i-change ang extension name into C, then can run file with extension name. So both C and C++ are compatible kay ani na sa magkuan sa extension name kanang atong ngan sa program is summation of integers, then that sa imuhang code na C++ ba siya or C mo tayo set ang extension name. The lastly is the scalability. Scalability refers to the ability of a program to scale. So it can run on a small scale. So pwede siya sa small scale or large scale of program. So the disadvantages of C++ use of pointers. Pointers in C++ are a relatively difficult concept to grasp, and it consumes a lot of memory. So nasiguro po uban nga concept sa C++ nga lisod na to i-identify samot na kay we are absence of garbage collector nga why mong collect sa mga unnecessary data. Next is security issue. Although object-oriented programming offers a lot of security to the data being handled as compared to other programming languages that are not object-oriented rather like C, certain security issues still exist due to the availability of friend functions, global variables, and pointers. So ang security issue is naiubang data nga being handled and compare or sa other languages like C nga wala sa jay OOP bitaw nga programming, di ta maka-apply og OOP nga ana bitaw nga sa kindahay ang C++ ag C was jay object oriented was jay OOP ang C++ ra may naa pero ang kalahian nila is naay friend functions, naay kaparehan nilang functions, and kanang mag-declare po tag global variables mga ingana. So next is absence of garbage collector. As discussed earlier, C++ gives the user complete control of managing the computer memory. So literally ang C++ ang naka-disadvantage jud is wa jud tay kanang garbage collector nga kana bitaw mo set aside ana nga unnecessary nga data nga di na bitaw gamit ngana. Next is absence of built-in threads. So wa jud support nga built-in threads ang C++, unlike sa kanang Java nga naay built-in thread. So ang C++ is na sa jay OOP pero wa jud sa jay built-in thread. So proceed ta sa known uses of C++. There are several benefits of using C++ for developing applications, and many application product-based developed in this language only because of its features and security. The first is application. So non-uses of C++ is pwede sa application. It is used for developing a new application for C++. So pwede po ta ma-apply og games. This language nga ang C++ is pwede po mo develop og kanang game development. It overrides the complexity of 3D games. So pwede po ta ma-apply og animation. There is animated software which is developed with the help of the C++ language. Pwede po og web browsing or web browser is used for developing browser as well. Okay, pwede po og makakuan ta og database access. So pwede ta mag-develop og database software or open source database software. Media access. Okay, it is also used for creating media player, managing files, and audio files. The operating system is also used for most of operating system for Microsoft and few parts of Apple operating system. Scanning. The application like film scanner or camera scanner are also developed in C++ language. So very competitive jud siguro ning C++ nga language kay na sa term scanner or camera scanner nga mo develop na ang language. So lastly is the other uses. It is used for medical and engineering application, computer aided design system. So that was the end of our video discussion for today. Then hope you understand the basic na pagpasabot about C++, nga about overview, history, advantage and disadvantage, then sa unsay nang uses ni nga language. So we are group members and assign then Flordelize as a leader and I as a presenter, and the member and researcher is Bagtasos and Libres. So thank you and God bless.